Just your thoughts on the offense's rhythm flow. No interceptions during the scrimmage itself, so no up downs today, right?
Yeah, we had a close one down there in the end zone. Matt Durant, appreciate you for saving me on that one. But yeah, I mean, the offense looked good. Obviously it's not going to be perfect. There are going to be times when the defense makes plays. I mean, we're going against our own defense, so hopefully they're making some plays too. But I thought the offense looked good. We were switching in guys. There was a lot of rotations, a lot of personnel, a lot of different looks. There are some things that we can definitely correct. We got to be quicker with our operation. I thought we were getting a little too close to the play clock running out. So those are some things that we got to work on. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good showing of our offense.
I think in the media we make a lot out of like a quarterback a quarterback messing with his new receivers. For you, how has that gone, and is it really as hard as we make it out to be to kind of find that group with those guys?
It definitely takes time. I think when you're working with somebody new, everybody runs routes differently. Everybody gets out of their breaks differently. Everybody runs releases differently. So just finding out that groove and how you can time up with that best is very important, and it does take time. It takes repetition. Thankfully for us, we've been at this for 4.5 now 5 weeks, or really 6 weeks. It's gotten better. But the more time that we have together, the more reps that we have together, the better it's going to show on Saturday. So it does take some time. It does take time to groove with somebody. But the more that we do it, the better we're going to be at it.
Zevi, you're talking about reps. Talk about how your relationship and your development with the connection with the receivers so far with Trey and Josh, how that's gone so far for you.
It's been amazing. Obviously I've been with those guys for over a year now. And the most important thing is developing a relationship with those guys off the field. I think that really helps the success on the field, because when you make relationships off the field, it helps you communicate with them better on the field. Obviously, when you're on the field, there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of things that are flying. It's fast paced. The mind is so many places. You got to be able to really get the person you're talking to back on track and yourself back on track so that you can really achieve what you're trying to achieve. So I think it's really gotten better over the year that we've had together, and I think it's going to continue to grow.
Zevi, how would you assess kind of your command of this new offense outside of the spring, and then moving forward into the summer? Where do you think you need to grow the most heading into the fall?
I think it's been good so far. Just understand, when I need something from the team, they're going to listen, and when they need something from me, they'll let me know. There's a lot that goes into every single one of the plays. We're in the huddle. We got to make sure that huddle's straight. We got to look nice. We got to get a good break. We want to sound loud. We want to have urgency. So all those things are very important. And kind of like what I was talking about earlier with meshing with the receivers, you got to rep it. You got to rep it over and over and over. And that's something that we got to do in the summer, so that by the time fall comes, it's perfect. And we just continue to grow from there. So I think for the most part, the leadership has been really good. I think the guys, will back that up, and I think there's definitely more room to grow. There's always room to grow.
Obviously, you keep talking about growing, but today, before kind of this practice and scrimmage, did Coach kind of hit one thing that he wanted to make sure you guys hit today, and do you think you hit that here? Yeah, what he really emphasized was just don't press. We've been at this for 14 practices. This is our 15th practice, and obviously the game. We've been working so hard and busting our butts for weeks now. Waking up early and doing the long practices. Go out there and have fun. There's obviously fans, and we got the game jerseys on, and we're on the game field. Don't press and feel like you have to do more than what you actually need to do. When you just relax and you go out there and have fun, that's usually when your best performances come out. So I thought the guys did a great job of just going out there, doing their responsibilities, and just having fun.
Obviously, you talk about, making the most out of the last 5 weeks on the field, but you also have to gel with the new staff. That's my guy right there, by the way. That's my guy. Hey, that's right, Jay Meir. That's my guy right there. Go ahead, sorry. You have to gel with new teammates, keep gelling with old teammates. So do you think that these last 5 weeks you guys were able to capitalize on it as much as you needed to, given so much that's added on to a spring with the new staff? Definitely. I think the coaches, the staff, the support, the players, everybody around has made this, this transition so easy. I mean, I really don't feel like these guys came in 3.5 months ago. It feels like they've been here for much longer, and they're just really, really great people. Everybody that we've brought in has just been really bought into what we're trying to do, and everybody that stayed has done the best to try to bring everybody together, and I think that's really, really important if you're going to have a successful team. I think the guys are meshing really, really well, and I think that the more time we have together, the better it's going to look. And I know I continue to emphasize growing, but that's how you can become a championship team. Obviously, we're not where we want to be, but as we take those steps, to get there, obviously the outcome will be what we want it to be. So I think they've been doing a great job, and I think that we still got a long ways to go.
Zevi, what can you tell Coug fans about this offense, whether it's going to be explosive plays or grinding it out, long drives? I mean, what can they expect?
Both, and I love that you just asked that, because maybe we didn't have all that last year. No diss to last year's offense, but we're going to run the ball this year, and we're going to be really, really good at running the ball this year. And then when the defense is like, hey, they're going to run the ball, that's when we go for the explosive pass. So we're going to have a mesh of everything. And I think that's really, really, really important in order for you to have a successful offense. You can't just be one-dimensional. You have to have a lot of things that you carry. I think that Coach Freund does a great job at including that in our offense, and I think that our players have been doing a really good job at using their skill sets to apply to that offense. So Coug fans, you're going to expect some gritty runs, and then when you think it's going to be a run, here comes the pass. So you just expect a little bit of everything. Keep you on your toes a little bit.
You had obviously several great moments today, but can you take us through that connection with Leon Neal Jr. just out right over here? And what did you see from him? What has he added to this offense? Leon.
Oh man, Leon's been doing a great job. Leon's been here for a long time. He knows the Palouse, more than a lot of the guys here. And Leon is, I got the utmost respect for that guy. He's been through a lot in his time here. And maybe things didn't always play out his way, and maybe he didn't always get what he wanted. But man, he stuck his head down and he stayed with the fight. He stayed the course. Man, he had a hell of a punt in that Syracuse punt block in that Syracuse game. And he stuck around. And the guys that stuck around, they're seeing those outcomes. I'm so proud of the growth that Leon has had. It's a shame that you guys are just now finding out how damn good that player is, but he is a hell of a player, and I'm really excited to see what he does this fall.
What has Kirby really added to this offense?
Oh, Kirby. Man, Kirby is a dog, man. I love Kirby. Kirby's one of those guys, he came in and him and I meshed really well off the bat. He's just got a great personality. He runs the ball hard, and the thing that I love about Kirby the most is he really, really freaking cares about, not only this, but the Cougs, man. He is so bought in, and you really just can't ask anything more from a player like that.
Zevi, on Friday, you got to park it with Jack Thompson, had to sign QB's Seek Advice.
Yeah.
A lot of legends went through that hole.
For sure.
If you could kind of pinpoint the best piece of advice you got from someone, whatever quarterback or legend player it was, what did you take from that yesterday?
I think something that was really consistent with a couple of quarterbacks and even coaches that came by. They said just enjoy the moment. A lot of those legends did get the opportunity to play in the NFL, and it's obviously something I aspire to do as well. But something that they really emphasized was enjoy the moment. Being able to hang out with your boys and do something like this. And have little hangouts, after spring games like that doesn't happen in the NFL anymore. Just really, really enjoy the moment. Don't take it for granted. And I know it's hard, at times because we're living in it, but just really, really, really make the most of every single moment. Don't take anything for granted. Enjoy the time with the guys that you have around you, and just put a smile on the face.
And what about your overall experience of this weekend, from the dinner to the golf tournament to today's spring practice and culminating?
This has been a phenomenal weekend. I think as a Coug quarterback, you really can't ask for anything more. Just the opportunity to be in front of the people that I was in front of these past couple of days and have the conversations that I was able to have. I'm beyond blessed. I'm beyond grateful for that opportunity. That those are conversations that I get to go home and tell my mom, Mom, guess who I just freaking talked to? You know what I mean? Dad, you'll never guess who I just had an interaction with, So I'm beyond blessed. I'm very grateful, and it couldn't have been done without, the love and support from the Coug family. So really grateful for them.
I'm just curious, with the draft coming up and you getting to work with Kyle Williams a lot more last season, especially towards the end, the team that does get the chance to work with him, what type of player are they getting?
Oh my God, they're going to get a phenomenal player, a player that just really cares about what he does, and he cares about the guys around them. Kyle Williams, I could be here all day just talking about the great things that he did while he was here. But the most important thing that I'll say is he's a really hard worker, and he's a very talented player, and he doesn't let the knowledge of him being a talented player slow him down from how hard he works. He's going to continue to work. He wants to continue to evolve. He wants to continue to do better. He caught, I think, 14 touchdowns, around 1,200 yards. I'm sure, if he was here for another year, he would have his sights set on something bigger, So whoever gets Kyle Williams, you're going to get a hell of a player. You're going to get a hell of a worker. I'm really excited to see where that guy goes.